Service Chiefs and Inspector General of Police, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo.
Mesdames et messieurs, j'ai le grand plaisir d'annoncer la présence.
What if life was always happening for you, not to you? There was an awakening in your heart, an awakening in your soul, an awakening in your courage, an awakening of your faith, your power, your strength, your love, your compassion, your passion.
The general salute we listened to a while ago heralded the arrival of Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo. You are welcome, sir.
Mesdames et messieurs, la salutation générale que vous avez écoutée était pour annoncer la présence du chef du corps de l'armée de défense, le général Lucky Irabo. Mon général, soyez le bienvenu. Mesdames et messieurs, nous avons aussi parmi nous ce matin le chef du royaume de Borgou, le docteur Mohamed Alurou Antoro, celui qui a donné le titre de Jagaba au président élu. Voilà pourquoi on l'appelle Jagaba.
The fanfare you heard a while ago heralded the arrival of the Honorable Minister of Defense, Major General Salih Magashiri, retired. You're welcome. Your Excellencies, Honorable Minister, the Chief of Defense Staff, Service Chiefs and Inspector General of Police, distinguished guests, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, His Lordship, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger.
Mesdames et messieurs, j'ai le grand plaisir d'annoncer la présence du juge en chef du Nigeria, Sa Seigneurie, la justice Kayode, Olukayode Ariwola. Son Excellence, soyez le bienvenu.
Distinguished guests, the fanfare we listened to a while ago heralded the arrival of the Chief Justice of Nigeria. You're welcome, Your Lordship. At this juncture, may I hand over to my co-compare, Captain Anebi Ababa.
Thank you very much, Flight Lieutenant Festus Ezenyi, for the commentary so far. Your Excellencies, most distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's still dignitaries' arrival unfolding here at the Eagle Square, where activities climaxing the presidential inauguration and swearing-in ceremony between the outgoing president and the president-elect. Your Excellencies, visiting President, Your Excellencies, former President, His Lordship, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the Chief of Defense Staff, Service Chiefs, and the Inspector General of Police, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. This is announcing the arrival of the Senate President and the Honorable Speaker, House of Representatives.
Mesdames et messieurs, l'honneur d'annoncer la présence du président du Sénat, Ahmed Lawal, et le président de la Chambre représentant son Excellence, Honorable Banjabi Amila. Bienvenue, Excellence.
went on. We've also seen the arrival of the Deputy President of the Senate, Ovie Omoagige. The Chief Justice of Nigeria also arrived while the military ceremonies went on. Well, there you see the Deputy Senate President and the National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress exchanging pleasantries there.
With the National Chairman of the APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. And of course, right seated beside him there is the Babangana Kingibe. Yeah.
Indeed, we've also seen the arrival of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Oluka Diariwola, a very, very important aspect or part of this ceremony. He's going to be administering the oath of office, which will be taken much later today. We've also seen the arrival of the Chief of Defense Staff. He's also called the Chief of Chiefs, General Leo Irabo. I'm sure he'll be here in the company of the other chiefs, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Naval Staff, the Chief of Defense Staff, and of course the Inspector General of Police. I imagine the court order, which we heard, has it been cleared?
Look, I mean, the man has been doing his duties as the IG. He was here yesterday to inspect the grounds, and I guess that is playing that duty despite, I'm not sure the position of the court on that matter, but I understand that there was a court order. But we've seen the Inspector General of Police, like Mahwe mentioned. We've also seen the Chief of Defense Staff, which another title I've heard today. Will keep learning, Chief of Chiefs, you call him.
Yeah.
Also.
And all of them being warmly welcomed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa. He's certainly the one in charge of all of the arrangements we've seen being put together. Everything in terms of the arrangement being witnessed here in Eagle Square has been coordinated by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
Also, I cited earlier the South African President, Cyril Ramaphosa, who was also received by the SGF. And of course, in line with the arrangement and the order of events here, we have seen up to the arrival of the Vice President-elect. And what we have not seen is the arrival of the President-elect, which in that order, arrival of the Chief Justice, arrival of the Speaker, arrival of former heads of state. I've seen former President Goodluck Jonathan arrive on the grounds today. Arrival of visiting president and delegation. We're seeing members of the diplomatic corps and some leaders across the globe. They also have arrived. Arrival of the visiting president and delegations, of course. Arrival of the Vice President-elect. We've seen Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima.
Yes.
But I'm not sure that the President-elect has arrived yet.
And you know, Sean, in these matters, protocol is extremely important.
Absolutely.
The order of arrival is deliberately done to show the importance of each person, yes, and hierarchy in matter of things. So, so far so good. All of the arrivals which we've seen are in order. And we certainly will.
Is the Senate President,
indeed,
Ahmed Lawan,
the third in command, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, is with him. So they're arriving in company of each other.
The Chairman and the Vice Chairman of the National Assembly.
Indeed. So they're going to receive their salute.
Yeah. So that means very soon.
That's them standing on the podium.
Yes, indeed.
They're going to be saluted by the military.
Absolutely.
I mean, these are significant event, and a lot of people might be asking question the presence and the parade or the showing of Nigerian military all over the world, and this are significant showing to show the strength, to show the organization of both the institutions of government, from military to political institutions in the country. And so you can see the synergy and how these entities are interwoven. So you can see the two heads of the different arms of the National Assembly, the green and the red chambers, the Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila.
So very soon, we just might witness the arrival of the President and the President-elect, because haven't seen.
Well, indeed, the Vice President will come in before the President,
yes.
And indeed, the President-elect is expected to have been seated before the President. then shows up. He is the last person who shows up, and then the event.
And as soon as he arrives, the national anthem, the event starts. The arrival of President Muhammadu Buhari signals that this event can commence. He is the chair of this event until the moment when the president-elect gets to the podium. Takes his oath of office. In fact, we understand by protocol that the sitting president then has to leave immediately because the chair in which, just look at it, significant mark where the chair in which President Buhari will be sitting will have the coat of arms on it, and as soon as Bola Tinubu, the president-elect, gets sworn in, that chair cannot be occupied again by President Buhari. It will be occupied by Bola Tinubu, and then
Nigeria, Babatunde Ogala, who became an officer of the Federal Republic yesterday. Congratulations, I must say. Good to see you. It's fine. Now, this victory for your client or your political party is said to be, it didn't come cheap, it didn't come easy. I need you to let us into the world of some of the challenges that you have faced, especially when it comes to, we're just narrowing down to things that constitutional will specify and others will say it is not like that, especially when it comes to section 299, which is one of the conditions. Let us know what we can know so that nothing is subjudice in that regard.
I think you rightly captured it. One of the most prepared person that ever contested the presidency of this country is Bola Tinubu. And I say this with all sense of responsibility. In 1999, we have a man who was fresh from prison and presidency was thrust on his laps. In 2007, President Yar'Adua was ill and ready to just retire to Katsina. We trust the presidency on him. Jonathan, accidental. You know, he also became president. President Buhari, of course, in 2015, Buhari had contested over and over again, so you could say he was also, to some extent, prepared. And Atiku Abubakar has always been prepared and always desired the office, but never made it. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu had taken the past 23 or so years to prepare for this day. He had taken his time, built bridges, made new friends, handshakes across, you know, and we knew the right time to come. Of course, was it easy to even emerge as a candidate of this political party? No, but beyond the primaries. The primaries is what we saw on the folk on the screen on that day. You will recall that even the NWC, of which I was a part, was unconstitutionally dissolved because it was perceived that they had too many of the sympathizers in there.
It's like a German national arriving here.
Yes,
So
another head of Ghana. Looks like we're seeing the arrival of the president of Ghana. Perhaps another president right behind him, but we did say that a number of heads of government are arriving at this time. You will see them being welcomed. They're coming down from their vehicles. Some of them have come with their wives, and you will see the flags on their vehicles. And I know the very first one I saw in front was the flag of Ghana. So I imagine that that will be the president of Ghana arriving at this moment.
Our brother country. Our sister country. Where you might call it. We have a very strong affinity here in terms of rice and a lot of things that you might be able to remember. Ghana definitely.
They're not so far from us, anyways.
Absolutely.
So there you go. That is the Ghanaian president, and Akufo-Addo just coming in. Also been received by the SGF. So there's another dignitary just likely just passed by our line of sight here. So he's not in the cameras yet. So he might be within the premises in a matter of minutes, as a matter of fact. So we'll know who is in that convoy that will be arriving soon. So
one person's hand, Chamberlain, that needs to be perhaps maybe after this event, wash his hands and keep the water in the museum. It will be the boss, Mustafa, the SGF, welcoming and shaking hands with with all the dignitaries and the big men and women who have arrived here today. Is indeed one moment that he may not forget in a hurry in his life. He's held a very important position in this country.
Professor Yemi Oshibajo, who is also a senior advocate of Nigeria, arriving, alighting from his convoy, received by the SGF, who is the chief organizer of this event. So he's going now to take his seat. But we all know after his convoy clears, will be the president.
Solid. But this will not come. Nigeria is been waiting for. The world is, eyes of the world is on Nigeria, and the moment is almost here.
So there you
when
go.
this man arrives, Chamberlain.
Absolutely.
Indeed, you can already see the bagpipes. The bagpipes usher the president into the square. The moment they start to play, the military, the armed forces get the signal that indeed the CNC is around. Their special sound ushers him into the square. And any moment from now, you'll hear their very unique, distinctive sound.
That's the wife of the president.
Oh, yes,
Aisha Buhari.
the wife of the president is here. It's interesting that they arrived separately. The wife of the president is arriving by herself
I'm
this time
assuming
around.
that the kind of protocol that ushers in the president perhaps is only for that office.
Indeed.
And as such that they might have to ride in different vehicles, but now this shows us something. They left the house almost at the same time, but they're arriving on this ground at just a few seconds apart. So indeed, the moment is almost upon us, Chamberlain Marquez, and the hour is almost here. And from the schedule, in the next 40 minutes, power will change hands. We shall be having a new president. Oath taking, swearing in will happen, and of course, the new president will take to the stand. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're waiting for that moment.
Is what time does. Time. So what a moment in history that is for the country and those involved in it.
Well, the last moments now for anybody who hasn't arrived to quickly arrive. You can see right there the governor of Imo State arriving there with his wife. One of the states where an inauguration will not be happening today because they have an off-season election. He is still governor until much later this year when another election will be happening in his state. So last moments right there. For those who have not yet arrived, you also still see, I mean, attention is on the state box right now, but what you cannot see, other parts of the square where lots of people have been arriving in their numbers as we speak. The square is currently almost saturated by the people, the dignitaries who have been invited for these occasions, and Nigerians and non-Nigerians alike from all walks of life in different parts of the square are already seated, taking their seats as the bus is bringing them from the old parade ground where they have been told to converge upon. And you can still see there that lineup. Oh yes, they're trying to show you Nigerians from all walks of life who are currently waiting for the events to start. But you can also still see there that lineup and the security cordon that has been done, waiting in arrival for the president, the CNC, who is expected anytime soon to be in the square. And I can tell you that when he comes, his presence will not be mistaken for that of any other person who has arrived, because the bagpipes will immediately usher him with a distinct and very special sound. Gentlemen.
Absolutely. When you said Nigerians from Usher to, I mean, we're seeing people from from across the world. I can see persons from, obviously from Asia.
Asia, yeah. You don't want to say China. But yes, Asia.
Yeah, and all different persons from across the globe witnessing these very important occasions. You can see as much as seats are provided, I mean, this kind of event will also cut this kind of arrangement where people will love to just stand and just, feel. I mean, when you're on this ground, there is a sense that this ground wants you to walk around. You want to just move around the ground. I don't know whether you feel the same.
But now they have to ensure that they look before they walk, because right now, heavy security cordon and blankets in and around the square. Of course, for this purpose, it's very much understandable why that is the case. So, but all of them are all there waiting for the president, just while they're waiting for the president's convoy to arrive, which we can hear now.
And a lot of people see arriving.
That's the president's siren, right? The convoy.
And now you can hear the siren.
Yes.
You can hear the siren.
Yeah. So he's on his way.
Unmistakable. You can hear the siren, and any moment from now, the siren.
This is the loudest that we have heard today, and perhaps also the ones with a difference.
Yes, indeed. Well, in a moment,
There you can
those
have it.
sirens will come down.
And everyone will be on their feet when
This is just
she
outside
comes in.
of the perimeters of the Eagle Square, just behind the road that leads from the presidential villa up to the Eagle Square. This is what you see now. The outriders leading the president, the CNC, the #1 citizen, is going to be for another hour or so or less. But then, for the moment, Malcolm, the nation is waiting, the world is watching, and yet we will be seeing what will become a very historical moment in Nigeria.
They're right here in the square
So there
now.
you go. Absolutely.
They're right here in the square now. You might see a mini display. You might be seeing a mini display of the outriders. At any moment from now, the sirens wailing will give way to the distinctive bagpipes, which will usher in the president. You can already see them standing at attention, waiting.
Wow, what a scenario that is. Beautiful sight.
Yes, the police officers on horseback. Those are police officers on horseback, holding the Nigerian flag, hoisting the Nigerian flag, marching in and bringing in the president, the CNC. Yes, indeed. They're leading his entourage there into the Eagle Square. Any moment from now, they will be in here.
Of course, this might be the longest drive from the house for the president for the final moment when he will be carrying that title and when he will be able to sound a command to the Nigerian military. That is the vehicle conveying President Muhammadu Buhari.
You might wonder what kind of emotions will be going through his mind. What will he be thinking
His
now?
smiles will be different. His thoughts are going to be wider than normal because he's going to be thinking about so many things at the same time.
When he walks on that
Memories
carpet
and flashes of past events of the last 8 years will keep coming to his mind.
8 years in a flash.
I'm telling you, this is the moment when your mind will play more than a videotape or a computer machine just in seconds. It plays you so many memories and images at the same time. And there we have it.
There you go. So
This
it's going to be a
moment.
So historic one.
Yeah.
Being led in by policemen on horseback.
Nobody gets this kind of honor or this kind of what would you call it? A military parade before them than the president. And this is what a lot of people campaign for.
Because, I mean, we saw the pace with which the advanced team came through, but this, you have to just take it in.
Very regal, very solemn.
Yeah.
Coming in gradually into the square for the last time as president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And any moment from now, he will highlight from that vehicle and go and take his salute. And then the national anthem will be played in full. We heard it played, an abridged version for the vice president for the last time as vice president. And we'll be hearing it in full, which will also signal the commencement of this event today.
All right. That is the buzz of the military music that is playing in the background. So ushering in. So you said the bagpipe is already, they're taking their position and they're already playing their thing there. And this is solemn. This is majestic. This is deliberate. And this might be slower than usual, but it's for a purpose. This is going to be the final moment when President Buhari will walk into this arena or drive into the arena. An interesting thing is, it might not even be convened with the same vehicle that brought him here back.
No, he will not.
Yeah, he will not.
Yeah.
At least for what we know, the coat of arms will not be on that vehicle any longer. And even the chair upon which he will be sitting for the next 40 minutes, it may not be what he will be sitting going forward. This is the traditional and the protocol for which this transition period of our process will take.
So the entire Eagle Square, beholding this moment in history where the president, Muhammadu Buhari, will be handing over to the president-elect, Bola Tinubu, for a historic moment.
So it was by
of the Commander Gas Brigade to invite the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces to take his seat at the VIP stand. The Commander, sir.
Veuillez vous asseoir, s'il vous plaît. Le commandant de brigade de garde nigériane doit inviter son Excellence, Président Muhammadu Buhari, de nous joindre ici. Mesdames et messieurs, ça c'est une activité vraiment très kaléidoscopique. C'est une activité très riche, une activité historique dans l'histoire du Nigeria. Le président Muhammadu Buhari, toujours souriant, il est là. Saluer le président élu, le Jagaban.
Your Excellencies, most distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the national salute we listened to a while ago heralded the arrival of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, on this auspicious event. And with the arrival of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we shall now proceed to the next event on our program, which is the opening prayers. At this point, permit me to respectfully invite the Imam of National Mosque, Dr. Mohammed Kabir, and Bishop Stephen Adekite to proceed for the opening prayers.
Excellences, invités distingués, mesdames et messieurs. Maintenant, c'est à moi l'honneur d'inviter respectueusement l'imam de la mosquée nationale d'Abuja, le professeur Shehu Galaldosh et le président de l'association des chrétiens du Nigeria, l'archevêque Daniel Oko, pour la prière d'ouverture. Je vous remercie.
صلوا على النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم على محمد صلى ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. الله put in place to witness another historic event, which is the founding the new president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and his vice president. Oh Allah, We call on you to bless all what we are going to do here. Oh Allah, we call on you to bless the outgoing president as well as the incoming president. Oh Allah, we pray for you to bless Nigeria, bless our neighbors. Oh Allah, protect us. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen. Thank you very much. Next is the Christian prayer to be done by Bishop Stephen Adekite. Let us all pray. Our God, our Father, to you all hearts are open, all desires known. From you no secret are hidden. We ask that you cleanse the heart of our hearts, that we may perfectly love you and only magnify your holy name. To Christ our Lord. Our God and our Father, we thank you for today. We bless you because you have never failed and you will never fail. We thank you for the life of our president that is outgoing, Muhammadu Buhari. We thank you for all he's been able to do. And we thank you for his family. Lord, we ask that you will continue to take care of him. Be with him as he leaves office today. We pray, oh Lord, for the new president, your son, Bola Tinubu, GCFR, His Excellency. Father, we ask for your blessings upon him. We ask, oh Lord, that he's looking up unto you today. And he's saying, where will my help come from? His help will come from you. Because you are the maker of heaven and earth. You will not allow him to stumble. You are the one that is keeping watch over him. He will never stumble, nor the sun will strike him in the day, nor the moon in the night. You will protect his going out and coming in from this time forward. We cover the entire nation with the blood of Jesus Christ. No weapon formed against our nation will ever prosper. Any tongue that rises against Nigeria, Lord, you will condemn in judgment. Father, assure you, Bola Tinubu tenure will be peaceful, will be refreshing, and he will not die in office. He shall be well with him. He shall be well with the first lady. He shall be well with the children. He shall be well with everyone that belongs to us in Nigeria. And Lord, Nigeria will go to the next level. It is a new dawn, oh Lord. Father, take control. Son, take control. Holy Spirit, take control. Let your name be glorified. Today is a new beginning. It shall be well with it shall be well with all of us. It shall be well with people that are rejoicing with us. And after all said and done, if every other thing given to us is taken away, your Holy Spirit will never depart from our lives. Give us a place in your eternal place. Thank you, Holy Spirit. We know you will do far more exceedingly, even than our own expectation, because you are our maker. In Jesus' most wonderful name, we are praying. Amen. And the people of the Lord will say, amen. People of God will say, amen. People of the Most High God are saying, come on.
some months ago. The Presidential and National Assembly elections was conducted on 25th February 2023. The elections ended with the governorship and state assembly elections on 18 March 2023. During the presidential elections, His Excellency Bola Tinubu, GCFR, and his running mate, His Excellency Kashim Shettima of the ruling party, All Progressive Congress, APC for short, were declared winners. And it's on that note that we are gathered here to witness the presidential inauguration and swearing-in ceremony on this auspicious and unique event.
Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, il faut savoir que les élections générales ont eu lieu au Nigeria il y a quelques mois. Les élections présidentielles et celles de l'Assemblée nationale ont eu lieu le 25 février 2023. Après les élections, le président et son colistier, son Excellence Bola Tinubu et son Excellence Kashim Shettima du parti au pouvoir sont déclarés les gagnants. Voilà pourquoi nous sommes ici pour cette occasion historique, l'investiture et la prestation des serments au président et le vice-président élu. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. On that note, may I now respectfully invite the Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, Haji Sariki Bello, who will in turn invite His Lordship, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, to administer the oath of office.
Son Excellence, Mesdames et Messieurs, j'ai le grand plaisir d'inviter le greffier en chef de la Cour suprême du Nigeria, qui va inviter sa Seigneurie, le juge en chef du Nigeria, la justice Olukayode Ariola, pour faire prêter le serment d'office au vice-président élu du Nigeria, Son Excellence Alhaji Kashim Shettima. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Justice Olukayode Ariola is the head of the judicial arm of the government of Nigeria and preside over the country's Supreme Court and the National Judicial Council. Honorable Justice Ariola was appointed and confirmed Chief Justice of Nigeria on 27 June and 21st September 2022, respectively. Before his elevation to the Supreme Court, His Lordship served as Justice of Court of Appeal in Kaduna, Enugu, and Lagos divisions. This morning, His Lordship Ariola will carry out his statutory responsibility as he administers the oath of office to His Excellency Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima and His Excellency President-elect Bola Tinubu.
Thank you very much. At this juncture, with deference to the office of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, may I now pray the indulgence of the Commander Guards Brigade to respectfully invite His Excellency, the Vice President-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Kashim Shettima, Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, to please proceed to the saluting days for the oath of office, and he is to be accompanied by his wife, Adriana Shettima.
Mesdames et Messieurs, l'activité que nous allons témoigner dans quelques minutes est la prestation des serments d'office au vice-président élu, Son Excellence Kashim Shettima. Et sera fait par le juge en chef du Nigeria, Son Excellence Sa Majesté, la justice Ariola. Merci beaucoup.
I, Kashim Shettima, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve,
that as Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will discharge my duties and perform my Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. Judicial oath. I, Kashim Shatima, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will discharge my duties and perform my functions honestly to the best of my ability and faithfully in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law. That I will abide by the code of conduct contained in the 5th schedule of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will not allow my personal interest to influence my official conduct or my official decisions. That I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a still event unfolding here at the Eagle Square, Abuja, Nigeria, venue for the presidential inauguration and swearing-in ceremony between the outgoing president and the president-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We witnessed a while ago the vice president-elect taking his oath of office.
This is also where I want to share it with this story. This one will not go to that. It's correct.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause for the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, Vice President Kashim Shettima, Grand Order of the Order of the Niger. Congratulations, Your Excellencies. At this point, may I crave the indulgence of the Commander Gas Brigade to kindly usher the new Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to take his seat at the VIP stand. The Commander, sir.
Mesdames et messieurs, c'était la prestation des serments au nouveau vice-président du Nigeria, son Excellence Kashim Shettima, qui est accompagné avec sa belle-femme Hadja Nana Shettima.
Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests,
Mesdames et messieurs,
ladies and gentlemen.
Le vice-président du Nigeria, il est allé saluer le président sortant, son Excellence président Mamadou Buhari, et le vice-président, vice-président Yemi Osinbanjo. Nous avons des personnalités ici. Nous avons ici même devant moi le président du Libéria, le président George Weah, le président du Niger, et autres personnalités qui sont là au nom de la fraternité et la solidarité africaine. Soyez les bienvenus, le seul ballon d'or africain.
Thank you very much. Next to be sworn in is the exalted office of His Excellency, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. May I once again crave the indulgence of the Commander Gas Brigade to please invite His Excellency, the 16th President-elect Bola Tinubu, GCFR, to the saluting days for the swearing in of oath of office. And he's been accompanied by
Excellence, invité distingué, mesdames et messieurs, c'est un moment historique pour le Nigeria. J'invite respectueusement le commandant de la brigade des gardes à inviter le président élu de la République fédérale du Nigeria, son Excellence Bola Tinubu, accompagné par sa belle femme, Madame Bola Tinubu, pour la prestation du serment. Excellence, vous avez la parole.
Merci beaucoup, Madame Badej.
Applaudissements, applaudissements.
Bola Tinubu, do some and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will discharge my duties and perform my functions honestly, to the best of my ability, and faithfully, in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law. That I will abide by the Code of Conduct contained in the 5th schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will not allow my personal interests to influence my official conduct or my official decisions. That I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, help me God.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause for the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, President Bola Tinubu, as he takes his oath of office and sign the dotted lines confirming him as the new President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
C'est le moment historique. Maintenant, la prestation du serment par son Excellence, le Président de la Nigeria, son Excellence Bola Tinubu, qui maintenant prête le serment. Maintenant, c'est la signature.
While the President is signing, just like her predecessor, we heartily welcome the 16th First Lady Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency, Senator Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, wife of the 16th President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, an educationist, administrator, and philanthropist, Oluremi Tinubu, as First Lady of Lagos State, established the New Era Foundation, dedicated to establishing centers for all-round development of young ones and promote public awareness on environmental, health, and community service. Oluremi Tinubu has executed a lot of philanthropical acts to alleviate the plight of indigent persons, and most importantly, she has touched the lives of girls and women in her constituency. In recognition of her achievements and contribution to societal upliftment, Senator Oluremi Tinubu has been honored severally, both locally and internationally. Among these are the National Award of the Officer of the Order of the Niger, Ghana Noble International Award of Leadership, Gambia Diamond Award for immense contribution to the emancipation of people from poverty, many citations and chieftaincy titles. In appreciation of her contribution as a role model, the West African Women Association named the Oluremi Tinubu Women Training Center in Gorom, Senegal, after her. From First Lady, Lagos State, to Senator, and today, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You are heartily welcome on board.
Mesdames et messieurs, voici le moment. Eagle Square a éclaté. Nous avons applaudi avec la prestation de serment au président du Nigeria, son Excellence, Président Bola Tinubu, le Jagaban. Madame Oluremi Tinubu, elle est l'administrateur, philanthrope. Elle est née le 21 septembre 1960. Madame Tinubu a fait ses études supérieures à l'université, après lequel elle a posé sa candidature aux élections. Elle est devenue membre députée depuis le 28 mars 2015. Madame Tinubu, en reconnaissance de ses réalisations et réalisation de ses contributions à l'amélioration de la société, elle a été honorée plusieurs fois, localement et internationalement. Actuellement, elle est la 6e première dame du Nigeria. Félicitations, membre de député Oluremi Tinubu, la nouvelle première dame du Nigeria. Merci beaucoup.
You are ready to go this way. Okay. Go this way with the family. Go this way. Oh, yeah.
Applause for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Tinubu, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellency, congratulations once again.
Excellence, Monsieur le Président, félicitations au Président du 16e du Nigeria, Son Excellence, Président Bola Tinubu. Félicitations. Félicitations, Excellence.
Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the swearing in, what we shall be witnessing next is the lowering of the national and defense flags, which may interest all our dignitaries to know that at the end of every dispensation, the national and defense flags are being lowered, which signifies the end of a dispensation. A new national and defense flag are being received from His Excellency, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to be hoisted back on the poles, signifying the commencement of a new dispensation. We shall be witnessing that shortly. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, taking you back to the happenings on the parade ground, to the far right of the parade, we can see the color bearers who would be participating in the lowering and hosting of the new national and defense flag, and are being accompanied this morning by the Regimental Sergeant Major Guards Brigade, Nigerian Army, Master Warrant Officer Aliu Umar. The flag bearers are Corporal Kalu Chigozie of the Nigerian Army, Able Seaman Etimwa Emmanuel of the Nigerian Navy, Sergeant Kanu Samson of the Nigerian Army, and Sergeant Undoma Patrick of the Nigerian Air Force. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it may interest you to know that this highly regimented aspect of the occasion is usually observed during transition of power, as we will witness. Distinguished guests, ladies and
Mesdames et messieurs, l'activité que nous témoignons à côté des haches de salutation et l'abaissement des drapeaux. Il y a deux drapeaux, si vous voyez bien. Il y a le drapeau de la défense et le drapeau national. L'abaissement des drapeaux signifie la nouvelle ère et le nouveau drapeau, le nouveau ère dans la dispensation de la justice au Nigeria. Et voici ce que nous allons témoigner. Les activités sont faites par deux soldats de marine nationale et de l'armée de terre.
National salute! Present arms!
distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please may we all rise while officers and warrant officers in place.
Mesdames et messieurs, les officiers en uniforme et les sous-officiers doivent saluer. C'est une activité très militaire qui signifie la passation. Les officiers doivent saluer. C'est une activité très militaire qui signifie la passation entre l'ancien président Ahmed Buhari et le nouveau président Bola Tinubu. C'est une activité par la force armée nigériane qui va signifier le changement de drapeau, entre autres. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. That was the lowering of the national and defense flag done by Corporal Kalu Chigozie of the Nigerian Army and Able Seaman Etimoa Emmanuel of the Nigerian Navy, signifying the end of a sensation, a political arena of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And at the end of the national and defense flags, they would now proceed to fold the flag before handing them over to the Regimental Sergeant Major Gas Brigade, who will in turn proceed to hand it over to the Commander Gas Brigade, Brigadier General A.M. Umar, after which he will also proceed to hand it over to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, CFR, who would be finally handing it over to the immediate past president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Muhammad Buhari, signifying the end of his administration. We shall be witnessing that shortly.
Ce que se passe, mesdames et messieurs, est le pillage des deux drapeaux, le drapeau national et le drapeau de la défense. Et comme j'ai dit, vous verrez les deux officiers qui sont au terrain de parade. Il y a le commandant de brigade de garde, le général de brigade A.M. Umar, qui va recevoir les deux anciens drapeaux et les deux nouveaux drapeaux. Il le passera au chef du corps de la défense, le général Lucky Irabo. Et Irabo passera les deux drapeaux au président du Nigeria, le président Bola Tinubu. C'est ça qui signifie le début d'une nouvelle ère de la distribution et de la gouvernance au Nigeria. C'est une activité très militaire et indication qui indique la passation du pouvoir. Voilà pourquoi nous sommes ici ce matin. Merci beaucoup.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what you are witnessing at the moment is the folding of the national and defense flags, and they are being done by Corporal Kalu Chigozie of the Nigerian Army, Able Seaman Etimoa Emmanuel of the Nigerian Navy, Sergeant Samson Kanu of the Nigerian Army, and Sergeant Ndoma Patrick of the Nigeria Air Force. You can see them paying compliment after folding the flag as the flag bearers turn about and march smartly towards the Regimental Sergeant Major Guards Brigade, Master Warrant Officer Aliu Umar, who is carrying a case as he pays compliments and opens the case. You can see first the defense flag is being placed and the old national flag is also being placed in the case carried by the Regimental Sergeant Major Gas Brigade. They pay compliment as he turns to his right, marching smartly towards the Commander Gas Brigade, Brigadier General A.M. Umar. He comes to a halt as the commander pays compliment. He takes a step forward and hands over the case flag to the Commander Gas Brigade as he takes his steps backward, paying compliments. And the commander turns to his right, marching towards the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, CFR, who pays compliment before receiving the case flag from the commander.
Le général de corps de brigade vient de passer le drapeau national et le drapeau de la défense. Son Excellence, le général Irabo marche majestueusement vers le président. Il passera le drapeau à l'ancien président Buhari et M. Buhari passera le drapeau au nouveau président Bola Tinubu.
You can see the Chief of Defense Staff handing over the old national and defense flags to the immediate past President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, signifying the end of his administration, as a new national and defense flag will be given.
Thank you very much.
Once again to the Chief of Defense Staff.
Thank you.
You can see the new cased flag, the new cased national and defense flag being presented to the new President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, who will in turn present the new national and defense flag to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, CFR, as he turns about.
Le président Bola Tinubu a passé le drapeau au chef de corps d'armée, le général Irabo. Irabo passera le drapeau au commandant des gardes de brigade et nous aurons l'usage de ces deux drapeaux dans quelques minutes. C'est la passation du pouvoir. Merci beaucoup.
You can see the Chief of Defense Staff handing over the case flag to the Commander Guards Brigade, who turns about and proceeds to hand it over to the Regimental Sergeant Major Guards Brigade Nigerian Army, Master Warrant Officer Aliu Umar, as he pays compliment and receives the case flag from the Commander Guards Brigade, Brigadier General A.M. Umar, who pays compliment as the Regimental Sergeant Major turns about carrying the brand new case national and defense flags to hand it over to the flag bearers as they pay compliment. He opens the case flag. First to be retrieved is the new national flag by Sergeant Ndoma Patrick of the Nigerian Air Force, and the new defense flag by Sergeant Kanu Samson of the Nigerian Army. He pays compliments as they turn about and proceed to hand them over to Corporal Kalu Chigozie of the Nigerian Navy. Compliment being paid there once again as they take a step forward to receive the brand new national and defense flags compliment being paid as a turnabout and proceed to the polls for the hosting of the national and defense flags respectively, signifying the beginning of a new administration of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, GCFR.
Mesdames et messieurs, vous témoignez maintenant l'issage du drapeau national et du drapeau de la défense, ce qui signifie le commencement de la nouvelle l'issage
Women are, or should be, human beings first, women second, wives and mothers third. It should fall in that order.
national flag.
Very interesting pictures you're seeing there, aren't they, of activities happening right now live at Eagle Square in Abuja. It's official, as you would have seen on our Twitter thread. The government of the Buhari administration is over. We have a new president now in the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the 16th president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That picture you're seeing, of course, is one of those rare moments where the Nigerian flag is being hoisted all across, and this new flags also have been hoisted, as we have seen in the official demonstration that has happened earlier as the events unfold. We apologize for the audio. We're working on it. We definitely will ensure that we'll do it better. Okay, now, so these images are saying that indeed and indeed we have a new president right there, right now, in Abuja.
Indeed. And what was very instructive for me was at that moment, we had a new president and then an immediate past president, just about 20, 30.
We request the Chief of Defense Staff, General to crave the indulgence of the Commander Gas Brigade to usher the immediate past president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to take his seat. The Commander, sir.
Well, there you see the symbolic handshake between now outgone President Muhammadu Buhari and Nigeria's new president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I mean, it's understandable that at this venue you'll have lots of jammers, you know, jamming signals, satellite signals. So, you know, hearing the audio back and forth is testament to that one. But it's something we're working on. But there you see live images, a historic moment for Nigeria as a nation. President Buhari about to get into, well, former President Buhari, that might get some, might take some getting used to, really. Now about to get into the SUV. Of course, the SUV has been stripped of the official, you know, plates and all of that. You see people waving at Muhammadu Buhari, now citizen Muhammadu Buhari.
Citizen.
Just like every other Nigerian.
And I think once you get into that spray, you seem to get into the statesman's club, right?
Yes, and he doesn't lose the title fully. He remains former president, Muhammadu Buhari. And, you know, Kadi was talking about emotions earlier on. I, for one, also imagined that it must have been a tumble of emotions between the outgoing president at that moment and the new president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know, both of them bearing huge similarities in their trajectories as they, you know, rode to power. The former president contesting 3 times, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself having to have, you know, seemingly sacrificed his ambition back then in 2015 before coming back, you know, in 2022 to clinch the ticket, you know, amid some difficulty, you know, even with a repeat of that Muslim ticket, which didn't go down without some controversy, but which we're now seeing playing out as he has now realized what he described as his lifelong ambition of becoming becoming the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
If you go to our Twitter thread, you'll find the order of events, and this is one of those things you'll find now. What is interesting is that as soon as the handover is done, former President Buhari leaves for Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport en route Katsina using a different car from the one that brought him to the venue, and it takes off for Katsina with 001 for the last time.
And, he's always talked about how he longed to return, to Katsina, to Daura, his hometown.
So that's the man in charge now.
Yeah,
and he's going to take that ride.
Oh, yes. It rained in the early hours of today, and there was that concern as to whether this would happen. And there you go, President Bola Tinubu with that iconic wave. Live images from the Eagle Square, Abuja. There you see, with the iconic cap and the logo that he's always used, the green cap,
yeah,
white
significant
logo.
With today's inauguration.
Indeed,
the national colors.
There you go, with that symbolic presidential wave. History clearly in the making. And a lot of people always wonder what will be going through the mind of Nigeria's new president. What is he seeing? Is he seeing the enormous challenge ahead of him? Is he seeing what exactly is going through his mind? That's the question. That's $1 million question right there.
But indisputably, it will be a moment of fulfillment for him. He's always longed for this. He's always wanted this.
On the one hand.
But Nigerians hope that unlike, what the former president longed for, that there would be evidence of renewed hope in this administration, not just longing for it, but, being able to fulfill the aspirations, the collective aspirations of Nigerians.
Did I hear former president again? But yeah. Yes, Daddy, you're right. It's going to take some getting
used to. It's going to take some time.
But, there are those who say that this new president is one of the most prepared presidents, one of the few we had who actually prepared to be president of the country. And it's not just a ceremony. I think it definitely... Okay, so let's go back and listen to audio from Eagle Square in Abuja.
His Excellency Bola Tinubu was headhunted for both international and local companies, including Mobile Nigeria, where he held important positions like senior auditor and company treasurer. He left the company to embark upon his political determination, commitment, vision, focus, and a strong sense of purpose that have characterized Bola Tinubu's politics drove his emergence as one of the country's most successful governors after Nigeria's return to democratic governance 23 years ago. His stewardship of Lagos State between 1999 and 2007 remains a reference for good governance in Nigeria and across the region. Among the most consequential and impressive of his achievements as the governor of Lagos was his revolution of the state's environmental policies and the creation of thousands of jobs for Lagosians through the private sector partnership program he established. Other important achievements while governor of Lagos include education reforms, under which now thriving mission schools were returned to their original owners after decades of government control. Free education and West African Examination Council forms for school leavers, giving underprivileged children access to further education, more career opportunities, and better life prospects. Civil service reforms, which led directly to the introduction of a more responsive and expert-led civil service in Lagos. Judicial reforms and the Lagos Master Plan blueprint, which has been and continues to be followed with great success by all subsequent governors of Lagos. Also worthy of mention is that as a first-class financial strategist, His Excellency Bola Tinubu overhauled and reformed government and revenue collection in the state, taking Lagos from a yearly internally generated revenue of 14.64 billion naira in 1999 to 60.31 billion naira in 2006. His innovations laid the groundwork necessary for Lagos to have the revenue to improve the state and modernize living conditions of all of its inhabitants. A graceful leader imbued with courage and commitment to justice. Bola Tinubu combines practical, political acumen, strategic vision, and moral principle. When the history of the first 2 decades of the 21st century in Nigeria is written, it will record Bola Tinubu's rare courage and foresight in guiding his party, the All Progressive Congress, to victory in 2015, and how, working with other patriots, he abolished the determined efforts of the then ruling party to turn Nigeria into a one party. Much as he understands the game of power. Indeed, his democratic footprints go beyond Nigeria. They span the continent, especially in the immediate West African sub-region, where he has contributed personal resources, advice, and support to help sustain democracy and popular participation in many of the region's emergent democracies. His Excellency Bola Tinubu has served the cause of humanity and expanded the frontiers of freedom and democracy in Nigeria and the African continent. He is one of the Nigerians' foremost nationalists and champions of federalism. As one of the few leaders and champions of democracy with the potential and experience to improve the fortunes of his people, Bola Tinubu is the very best man, and today, the 16th president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is happily married to his lovely wife, the 16th First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency Senator Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, and the union is blessed with amazing children.
Mesdames et messieurs, Son Excellence, le 16e président de la République fédérale du Nigeria et commandant en chef des forces armées du Nigeria, GCFR, est né le 29 mars 1952. Il a été 2 fois le gouverneur d'État de Lagos, pendant laquelle il a fait des réformes durables dans les domaines pédagogiques, financiers, judiciaires et la création des emplois. Son Excellence a eu sa licence en l'administration des affaires, comptabilité et la gestion à l'Université de Chicago, Illinois, aux États-Unis. Il a aussi travaillé comme auditeur supérieur à Mobile.
Il va continuer avec les célébrations militairement. Ouais.
Thank you. That was the citation on His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. May I now hand over to my co-compare, Captain Anebi Ababa, to continue with the remaining parade.
Thank you very much, Flight Lieutenant Festus Ezenyi, Mrs. Olubumi Badejo, and Mr. Mohammed Tijani for the wonderful citation of the special guest of honor on this auspicious occasion. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the inspection, we shall witness shortly the parade commander seeking permission to continue with the rest of the parade.
May I have your permission to carry on with the rest of the parade, Your Excellency?
Presidential permission has been sought there and graciously granted by His Excellency, the special guest of honor and the reviewing officer for today's historic occasion. We can see the parade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Salim Yusuf Hassan, riding on a white horse named GMB to take his position to commence the march pass. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please happy viewing.
Shoulder arms. Hands into the colors. Take off. Red uniform. 3 rounds. Form 3 rounds. Close order. March. Inwards tone. Red will march pass. Islam quick time. Division into columns. Forming squad on the right and left. Color party leading by the center. Right and left wheel. Slow march.
Your Excellencies, most distinguished invited guests, very senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, there's still an event unfolding here at the Eagle Square, where activities climaxing the presidential inauguration and swearing-in ceremony of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, President Bola Tinubu, GCFR. Witness a while ago the parade commander giving orders for the guards to form 3 ranks and commence the march past. What you are witnessing now are the guards forming squad without changing formation, before forming an extended line formation by the guards towards the saluting days, led by the color party. The essence is for the guards to pay their respect to the special guest of honor who has taken his position on the saluting days, and also for the reviewing officer to take a close look at the turnout of the guards who are impeccably dressed at close range. Before presenting arms to the special guest of honor, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it will also interest you to know that the far pass towards the saluting days and the forming squads by the guards is another display of silent drill, as the guards are only reacting to the initial words of command given by the parade commander before the commencement of the march pass. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please happy viewing.
Supérieur, les chefs d'État des pays africains qui nous ont honorés avec leur présence. Mesdames et messieurs, ce que nous voyons maintenant actuellement, c'est les membres de la force armée nigériane. Les escortes des drapeaux, des réduits, ils marchent vers le dias de salutation afin de montrer et justifier la loyauté de la force armée nigériane au président, son Excellence. Il marche majestueusement, calmement, avec la dignité, le courage, la fierté, qui sont les qualités de l'armée dans le monde. kaléidoscopique, plein de couleurs, qui signifie nouvelle ère de la disposition, nouvelle disposition au Nigeria. Mon commandant, mon capitaine Ababa, je passe la parole à vous.
Senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, what you are watching at the moment are the guards forming squad to the right and left of the parade ground, preparatory for the presenting of Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. To the left half of the saluting days, we have the number 1, 2, and 3 guards provided by the Nigerian Army. And to the right half of the saluting days, we have the number 4 guard provided by the Nigerian Navy. The Navy color and the Air Force color being carried by commissioned officers known as ensigns to the colors. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, witnessed a while ago the various guards paying compliments, all to show their honorable loyalty to the special guest of honor. After paying compliments, we are now retreating back in orderly fashion. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please stand.
Mesdames et messieurs, comme vous voyez, il y a 6 gardes comparables ce matin. Nous avons le 2 premiers gardes composés de l'armée de la 4e garde est composée de la marine nationale. La 5e garde est composée de l'armée de l'air nigériane. Et nous avons aussi la 6e garde composée par la police nationale. Le président s'approche. Levez-vous.
How are you? Okay. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hello. My brother. How are you?
Your Excellencies, most distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we sit back and enjoy this beautiful parade by these amazing officers and men, permit me to acquaint you with the significance of 21 gun salute, which is part of activities lined up for today's celebration. The 21 gun salute is a military tradition used to accord respect or honor to dignitaries. Generally, saluting is done using hand, sword, colors, small arms, and firing of artillery guns. Salute by gunfire is an ancient ceremony which originated in the 17th century and involves the use of artillery guns to fire ammunition, usually blanks, to welcome important dignitaries or commemorate an anniversary. Traditionally, gun salutes are presented to honor or welcome a foreign president or head of state on a state visit. It is also used to cover reopening days, marking of public holidays and independence anniversary celebrations. Others include Ascension Day, state funeral of a late president, and Independence Day. In Nigeria, gun salute is provided during armed forces Remembrance Day celebrations, inauguration parades, independence anniversary, and in honor of visiting presidents. Today, we shall be witnessing the firing of 21 gun salute to signify the great respect and unflinching loyalty that the Nigerian Armed Forces and the Nigerian Police have for the exalted office and the personage of His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. On that note, that I request our distinguished guests not to panic.
Well, the images you're seeing right there, of course, the Eagle Square is right there. But then that insert picture, that little box that you're seeing right there on the screen as well, is that of the now outgone President Muhammadu Buhari and his family heading towards Daura Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport right there in Abuja, heading towards the aircraft to finally go to Daura, as the president, what the former president had often said over and over again. Most certainly, I wonder the kind of emotions, not just for the president, but his wife, his children as well.
The entire first family.
8 years. I mean, first powers transit. As I said, he came into that arena this morning as the president. Now he's former president, just like that. I know that the current president says that he will seek advice, come knock on his door, and all of that. But the former president has been quite clear about what he'll be doing after his time in office. He said it time and again that he couldn't just wait to go back to his farming, to his livestock, and all of that. And I know for a lot of Nigerians, this might be an emotional moment as well. Looking back at the past 8 years, the promises made and the deliveries, the reality on the ground. It's going to be it's going to take a lot of retrospection for Nigerians, and I imagine for the former president himself. But those are live images from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in the nation's capital, Abuja. Former President Muhammadu Buhari, Citizen Buhari, as I'm calling him now, departing or about to depart to Daura with his family.
Well, convenient not to topple as we're doing on that title, president. So we get used to the new reality that we now have a new president, who is President Bola Tinubu. But it's been a mix of emotions right here as we watch the initial parade, the handover of the flag, the national flag and the defense flag from the former president to the new president. And the parade, the splash of colors, the array of white on green of the men of the armed forces as they paraded. And we've heard the voice of the president, acknowledging the armed forces as he inspected the parade, the guard, the combination of the armed forces. It's a beautiful ceremony, but much more important, is what lies ahead of the incoming president. Nigerians are expecting governance in equal measure of aesthetics. It's a tall order, very demanding, but that's the job he signed up for. And he says, look, don't pity me. So Nigerians are not, they're waiting for immediate results. But the question is, how soon will the results start coming in?
If you have the answer, and just give it to us right there on Twitter.
But, in that insert, you still see that the former president still has a couple of people around him. And that's what some of the people in power will tell you, that the moment they're out of power, all of the knocks on your doors, the people waiting to see you, all of those, people lined up, it usually reduces, and there's always that silence. So
that proverbial, the phone stopped ringing.
Yes, he still has a couple of people, saying goodbye to him. I imagine some of his staff, and there you see approaching the aircraft and walking in. So,
well, our correspondent, Emperor Simon, is there, and hopefully we'll be able to have a word or two with him when the time is right. But then don't forget that the big screen still shows you
the big event.
The big event. The picture you are giving you from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport is no less significant, but just so you know, as Kaudi said, power is transient. You are a human being, but you
What if you could do SEO smarter and faster? With Wix, you can edit your meta tags page by page or all in one go. Modify your URLs Inspect all of them in one click and more. Save time, customize freely with SEO on Wix.
The big screen. There's still a lot to expect from the Eagle Square. Actually, this is a march past in slow and quick time. Colorful display, honestly. It's always beautiful to watch. I mean, look at that. All marching in synchronization. It's just beautiful seeing the work that has gone into this, by the way. Lots of man-hours of rehearsals. And you have to get everything right. Everything has to be perfect, excellent, precise. And that's what a lot of Nigerians will be expecting from the government. I think so. This is a typology of the expectations of Nigeria. All of your, decisions, the activities of the government has to be top-notch, excellent in synchronization, from the president's decisions to his cabinet to the National Assembly. People have invested, their votes in them, so they expect nothing less excellent. So after that, we'll still look forward to the big one, the CNC's speech. Now, as a commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
So that's you can see is the first lady, former first lady. We say that.
Well, speaking of speeches, Nigerians continue to put the former president to task on that very significant line from his first speech, I belong to everyone and I belong to no one. So Nigerians will also going to be looking forward to, the significant promises, the significant lines, the paradoxes, if any, of the speech that we're about to hear from the incoming president, and the hope that, well, we'll be hoping that the income. It takes some getting used to the new president, and they're going to be, holding him by his words, in the coming 4 years. So we're looking forward to that inaugural speech.
Most certainly. But don't also forget the insert. Hopefully, will also show images of the former vice president. Oh dear God. Former vice president will also be coming in anytime soon for his own journey home as well. And of course, so you can see the parade is still quite functional, quite active. And you were talking about the immense work that has gone into this. Guys, when we talk about working for Nigeria, making Nigeria better, the littlest things matter. Kade, you talked about the man-hours that went into this parade. Someone composed songs that have been played. That is service to nation.
I mean, look at the brass instruments.
The ensemble.
It's beautiful, the ensemble, the orchestra. They're playing in unison.
Exactly.
And I think, again, it's what we expect from government.
Someone composed the song. So the littlest thing that you can do for the nation is, can you just keep that at the top of mind? As we say, is it in PR and advertising, top of mind awareness? Let Nigeria be so topmost in your mind that the littlest thing that you do, the wind that comes through your nostrils and through your throat, is all about making Nigeria great. This that each one of these fellows are doing is about the greatness of Nigeria. Displaying it in front of many presidents from various parts of the world that are here.
Aya, you always talk about our core values and how the Constitution spells it out. Dignity, patriotism, and this speaks to those core values, and they stem from institutions. So we must build institutions, and it's reminiscent of our earlier conversation, about how Nigerians need to do their part first. It took a lot of commitment, a lot of hard work and resilience, for men of the armed forces to come up with this that would cause. So
let's go back to Eagle Square now.
Nigeria.
Yeah, let's go back to the Eagle Square, take some more listening to this, and perhaps get more pictures of what is going on right now.
We also have escort to the colors and parade regimental sergeant majors as part of the component of color parties. Behind national and regimental color of the Nigerian Army is Master Warrant Officer Victoria Unisa. Behind Nigerian Navy color is Master Warrant Officer Edeche Samuel. And behind Nigerian Air Force color is Master Warrant Officer Hussein Yigita. Paying compliment right now is number 4 guard, which is commanded by Lieutenant Commander Tomilayo Lukman Dali. Squadron leader Usman Babasambo, riding on a horse named Umar, after the Commander Guards Brigade, Brigadier General Aminu Muhammad Umar. May I once again please request that when the color parties marches towards your sitting position, you are please expected to rise as a mark of respect to the colors. Officers and warrant officers in uniform are expected to salute. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, mon lieutenant Okunari. Mesdames et messieurs, comme vous voyez, nous sommes toujours à Eagle Square. Et toujours en avant, avec, il est sur son cheval. Les autres officiers sont sur parade. Et vraiment, c'est une activité kaléidoscopique. Et vraiment, cela indique. Il annonce nouvelle ère dans la disposition du Nigeria. Mesdames et messieurs, comme vous voyez, le premier garde est commandé par le capitaine Man Issa et le commandant Moussa Hamza Yakoubou. La deuxième garde est commandée par Major en commandant Olufumi Lola. Troisième garde est commandée, non, il y a 4 membres des escortes de drapeau. Lorsqu'ils vous approchent, mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous saluer. Toujours les militaires qui sont en uniforme, les officiers et les sous-officiers. Le troisième garde, mesdames et messieurs, est composé de l'armée de terre. Nous avons 3 gardes formés, composés de l'armée de terre. La 4e garde est composée de la marine nationale. 5e garde est composée de l'armée de l'air nigériane. Et la 5e garde est composée de la police nationale. Vraiment, c'est une activité très intéressante, Nous sommes ravis avec tout ce qui se passe. Vous voyez les membres de la force armée nigériane qui sont fiers, parfaitement tenus. Ils sont rigoureux, vigilants et respectueux de la hiérarchie. Mesdames et messieurs, vous serez d'accord avec nous qu'ils se conduisent avec l'humeur, courage et dignité. Ils sont toujours disponibles et disciplinés. Voici les qualités de l'armée nigériane. En quelques minutes, ils vont changer le défilé. Au lieu de marcher lentement, ils vont marcher rapidement, toujours pour justifier et montrer leur loyauté au président de la République, le nouveau président Bola Tinubu.
Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests,
Well, as you can see, the match was
slow, huh?
slow. Now
They've switched gears.
It's
Quick
quite
time.
fast now, quick time. A number of people might be remembering that song. I remember when I was a soldier. Come on, you never were a soldier.
This is representation, really, Nigerian Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Nigerian Police, actually. And it's just beautiful to see the colors.
Beautiful to behold.
The fact that they're all synchronized, you know, the white gloves, their sidearms,
the sash, the red sash.
Everything just really perfect. And this is a quick time now. They did the slow time for quite some time. And they moved on to quick time. You still see the insert from Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. Former president, former first lady, actually. They were there earlier. I think we're expecting former vice president and his wife as well. You know, just go into the former vice president's Twitter handle. You see things have changed, even for the former president as well. Changed, you know, the designations on it, even the profile picture. You know, essentially saying adios. It's now in the hands of President Bola Tinubu. And
all significant websites have transited.
Exactly.
Yes.
I wanted to remind Bukola was reminding us of Wikipedia updating. The president's, the new president's profile has already been updated on Twitter.
Yes.
It's interesting that Twitter did this. I'm sorry, Wikipedia did it so quickly.
Yeah.
Someone must have been on cue.
Oh yes, it's a big one. I mean, this is Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's the largest black nation, over 200 million people. I mean, you see the heads of state present there. Beautiful aerial view, by the way. We have the presidents of South Africa, the president of Rwanda, Ghana,
president of
Kenya, president of Liberia, and the rest. So there's a lot of representation.
And representation also, yes.
Yeah, from the US and other countries, and even the Middle East. So you know how big this is, not just for Africa, but for the world at large. I mean, we always say that Nigeria is a blessed nation, but indeed we are blessed. And you know that whatever happens to Nigeria or happens in Nigeria naturally affects not just the continent, but even the world at large. I mean, talk about our human capacity. You've seen them right here. Yeah. This is a picture. I always say the Inspector General of Police, you know, the Chief of Naval Staff, the Chief of Defense and the rest, all of them saluting. And there is the president and his vice all standing. You could see the Chief Justice as well. Very, very important man to this occasion, really. His arrival I just showed a lot of people that this is real, this is happening.
Without him, Cardi, there would be no inauguration.
Exactly. So,
I mean, that's actually very, very instructive.
Very instructive.
You know, we often say that we run a presidential system of government. people wonder, okay, why have 3 layers of government when you have, when any one of them could have done just about anything? But no, the judiciary swears in the president swears in the judiciary.
The judiciary.
You know, when the time is right.
And when the time is right, the budget, which is a document, a legal document of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, cannot become law without the National Assembly. So they all need each other.
And the executive, the president, has to literally write to open the National Assembly. You know, every term. Without that letter from the president's office, that cannot really happen. But hey, this is...
It's a band. It's a mixture of, you know, all of the, you know,
servicemen.
The service, the armed forces represented. And I must say, beautiful work.
And it's a significant part of the ceremony, you know, so prepared for quite some time by men of the armed forces. And, you know, the ceremony would be incomplete without this, you know, beautiful parade.
Indeed. And there's something a lot of people will want to see, the air display as well. Earlier on, we saw the aircraft with the Nigerian flag. That was just a
I love that one. I really
just showing you how you expect the Nigerian flag to be flown very high by everyone who has the cause to represent those flags. And they see really colorful, you know, and the flags coming in behind them. I mean, I can watch this for as long as possible.
It's possible, right?
But that would be unfair to them because they've been at this for quite some time. First with a slow time, and now the
it's easy to watch it again. Just record, go to YouTube and just...
No, he doesn't have to record.
Transition,
you know, just play back on Channel TV broadcast. Or just search for it, you know, on Channel TV's YouTube page.
Well, big day, really. It's a big day for Nigeria. I will do that much later. This is the Eagle Square venue of the inauguration of President Bola Tinubu and his vice, Kashim Shettima. You're watching what is turning out to be a really colorful event, really. Even the inset you're seeing is colorful with the red carpet at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. So we're giving you a mix of what's going on at the Eagle Square and at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. So we're winding down with the march past and we're going into the air display.
Guests of honor, sir, your excellencies, distinguished invited guests, I warmly and heartily welcome you all to the aerial display segment of this ceremony. 5 aircraft types from the Nigerian Air Force inventory are performing in today's aerial display. The first aircraft was the Augusta 109, which you saw, proudly displaying the national colors during the hoisting of the national and defense flags. The crew comprised Colonel Leader Larry Azi, Flight Lieutenant Shaibu, and Ariola. The helicopter operates out of 405 Helicopter Training Group, Enugu, unit commanded by Wing Commander Deji Omokunga, tasked with the conduct of advanced combat training for NAV helicopter pilots. The remaining 4 aircraft performing will be in the following order.
Pictures again from Eagle Square, Abuja, and the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport showing right now. Okay, well, okay.
Well, it's something that you would actually love to see when the air display starts right away. I mean, we saw a snippet, as I said, and you heard the announcer there speaking about the first helicopter we saw, and we're going to see some more. This is one of the major highlights, really. And, you know, they have to be very precise. You know, flying an aircraft, normally a passenger aircraft or war aircraft, on a normal day is a lot of work. But for an air display, is even extra work because it comes with art, it comes with extra precision and all of that. So this is going to be one of the major highlights of today's inauguration. So,
and are we expecting a landing as well?
Well, they will land somewhere else, but not, of course, on the ground.
Not on the ground.
You just see them fly over, and it's going to be definitely something.
Did I hear you say
fly? And it all gives you, you know, a sense of pride in your democracy, makes you feel very proud about being a Nigerian.
Fly over?
And you were saying earlier, Ayo, about, you know, the need to translate, this ceremony into, the lingua franca of other African countries that is not necessarily ours, but because Nigeria is, one of the leading countries on the continent, it would be important to have, all the audience in the African continent participate in this ceremony.
Well, that's a matter for other conversation later, but we have a couple of gentlemen here with us who can speak to some of the significance of some of the issues, the symbolic meaning of some of them. Professor Femi Otubanjo is here with us. He's a professional of international politics and strategic studies at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you very much.
As well as Professor Sylvester Haine, who is a professor of political science, Lagos State University. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You've been here with us for quite a while. Oh, by the way, it would seem like activities, just quick one here, activities are ramping up, so to speak, at the National Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport now.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Just to be sure, it looks like the former vice president.
Former vice president.
Not quite sure. Or it looks like actually the president or former president.
Get used to it.
The former president, Muhammadu Buhari, there with his wife, former first lady, there just departing, it would seem. You had thought that they had gotten into the aircraft earlier on, but it would look like that was another set.
Altogether.
There you go, former president.
And don't forget that the former vice president and his wife and family will be on their way as well. We wish we could keep our eyes on all events at the same time, but let's just take note of that as well.
But both symbolic events.
Both
Perhaps,
symbolic,
of course,
yes.
the bigger one is happening at the Eagle Square. But for a man that was #1 citizen for 8 years, this is definitely a big one. And you see some of those members of security forces giving their salute as Muhammadu Buhari, citizen, departs Abuja with his wife. 8 years. I'm sure there will be lots of stories to tell.
Most certainly. Let's ask the gentleman in the studio with us how this pans out for you, Professor Haine. We're looking at 2 events right now. Which one strikes you significantly more of the 2 events? First seem to be kind of 2 in 1 event, though, but yeah.
I think that the 2 events converge, at the level of the philosophy of power. We say power is transient. That's basically what it demonstrates. A new government is coming in, and one is going. And perhaps some 4 years ago, the idea that I might leave office, may not have occurred. That realization may not have occurred at all. But now the reality has dawned.
Yeah.
It's left office. A new person is in charge. So that's it. I feel that it has a big legacy, which is for incumbent leadership, to know that power is transient and that, governance attitude should be about the people and nothing more.
Okay. Prof.
Yes, I think I share that. There are interesting dramas, both of them. They both point to the fact that our democracy is getting stronger. Here you have one new president being sworn in, another joyfully leaving and going back to his whatever he's going back to his own town or whatever. It's a major statement. Incidentally, Buhari is one president that you would have expected to seek tenure elongation. A military general, and he was being goaded to do it too, but he did not succumb to it. In fact, it showed in the last day some enthusiasm to leave. And this is part of that drama. And it is good for us to see this. It's good for those who will come after them to see both the inauguration and the exit that they are going to happen. The day you are inaugurated, you must know that one day you will be like Buhari and walk to the airport and go away to wherever you are going. So I think they are good dramas. They complement each other.
How significant is it, Professor Otubanjo, that it's not just the president or the vice president or their families that are living as a rock, so to speak, but there are several other assistants, appointees. You know, there was this drama earlier in the past few days or weeks that there's going to be a number of job losses.
Yes.
You know,
Well, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. When you are in Nassau, I've been there myself. I spent 4 years there. Although in our own situation, and there was a military situation with there was no terminal date. In the end, we were thrown out.
So just one second. That's the president boarding
the former president.
Oh God,
it's okay.
Yes, former president boarding the aircraft. And Bukola, you cited, pointed our attention to that picture on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning of the former president backing the camera, heading into an aircraft, dressed differently, of course, but it would seem like that is being replayed right here, right now, in the images that we are seeing. And we were talking about it the other time, Professor, my apologies, sir, Professor Tubajo, that I think it was Khaled that was mentioning the relief that he must feel, you know, having left office now. Or is it mixed feelings, do you think?
Well, if you've tested, you know, position of importance, like the presidency, you know, there are two angles to it. I recall very well barely a month when he was sworn in 2015. He went for an event at NIPS, you know, Kuru Jos, where he made a point that he thought that coming to lead Nigeria was going to be easy, that given the enormity of what he has seen, he felt like running away. Yeah, he said that. But I think that he must have enjoyed over time, the last 8 years, those moments of, you know, importance, feeling as the president of Nigeria, people say that he's the most powerful president in the world. Notwithstanding whether our armed forces is weak or not, you know. So, but now living is surely going to be one of mixed feeling.
Yeah.
You know, a list of what I ought to have done, you know, if I were to, you know, rewind
is that perhaps
the clock
why
of time,
he has
you know?
had to apologize about two times?
Yes, he did that.
Yeah.
And if you also look at yesterday's broadcast, I think it was more conciliatory. This time around, I didn't see fellow citizens or dear compatriots. It was brothers. You know, I don't know whether you noticed that salutation, you know, to the speech. So that's it. So it's always a one of mixed feelings. You know, I'm living where there are things I could have done. The time isn't there, you know, and perhaps, and also a wish to the new president, you know, to be able to perform and do well in office. Fulfill some of those things.
Indeed. We're seeing the Nigerian Air Force plane now. The door closing, I mean, symbolizes the fact that the aircraft will be taxiing any moment from now to take off as former President Muhammadu Buhari departs Abuja. He's handed over power to Bola Tinubu at Eagle Square. You can see that in the insert, just at the bottom of your screen. The Nigerian Air Force jet is ready to convey former President Muhammadu Buhari. Back at the Eagle Square, there's a lot of activities still playing out. From the air display, we're going to be seeing the cultural troop display as well. Then the inaugural speech. And I know that a lot of people are looking forward to hear what the new president will say, what promises will be made, and if there'll be anything iconic, as we saw with the former president, the I belong to everyone and belong to no one. It's something that lasted literally all through his administration.
Through the lifespan.
But still speaking to this closed aircraft, I wonder for you, Prof, what do you think Nigerians will remember Buhari for?
Well, it depends what Nigerians are not. There's no person called Nigeria. There are people in his home state who probably will feel excited that he brought a lot of good things to them. There are people in other places that do not feel so excited. One of the things that
Without the ones like you working tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. No matter your industry, Grainger's here for you with professional-grade supplies. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
like meeting people.
So you think Nigerians want a president that would speak to them from
Of
some of
course,
the
the president has to be
pathetic. He must be somebody who relates. Who was a president. You see them in developed countries. There's a problem where they're on the plane in their shirt and they're going to share. In fact, when the train crash, chemical problem in somewhere in the US only last year, Trump tried to take advantage of that. He ran to the place because Biden didn't go there in good time. The president we elected the president. It's for all. He was supposed to serve us, not to be an emperor. He did not relate to us. And unfortunately, he also unleashed on us his people whom he wanted to rehabilitate. It was a badly thought out policy. He wanted to change their lifestyle. He's their life patron of the Fulanis worldwide, and then impose them on us without any planning or preparatory programs. Even if we had persuaded Nigerians and bringing these people, I want them to settle down, I want them to be educated like you people, and then where can we put them, how do we put them? We didn't do that. Those people now came and decided to force themselves on us, killing and kidnapping and occupying. We remember him for that. There's no way in which we can forget that his second term was filled with bloodshed. That's unfortunate.
Even though there have been other statistics that says, well, terrorism reduced during at least the latter part of his administration.
Maybe the last 1 year. I don't know
and all that.
Yes.
But you said it will be mixed feelings for a lot of people.
It's not terrorism that reduced. It is banditry and kidnapping and all this. Because we don't know what's happening to the terrorists.
That were related to terrorism, banditry, and the rest. But, Prof, for you, I mean, it looks like there's a spectrum of feelings, really. So which other ones do you think Nigerians will remember former president for?
Well, I mean, this morning when I read his inaugural speech, and pondered on this line, I belong to everybody, I belong to nobody. He did not do that. And I was telling myself, maybe he actually belonged to nobody. So in a way, if you play on that line, you ask yourself, did he actually serve Nigerians, or he served Nigerians the wrong way? For instance, the problems with this country, the identity question, accentuating the ethnic question in this country in terms of, the appointment of public officers, contrary to Section 14 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, of the federal character, principle, ensuring social justice, in the distribution of, public goods. So that point is there. And when you talk about insecurity, fighting insecurity, I'm not sure if we can, score him high. Because I remember very well, in 2015, Jonathan brought in the Blackwaters, the private military company, and they almost liquidated, Boko Haram, an election held in the Northeast, without any problem. So I think they tried to also do that in the context of the election. Those who have access to these networks of bandits, and terrorists, must have, spoken to them. And there was little calm, So, but that has not ended. We don't know exactly what is playing out, I mean, in the theater of conflict in the Northeast. We don't know exactly. So beyond that, here is a government that left behind about $41 billion external debt. Each time I look at it, I'm pained because I remember very well in 2006 when we had that so-called debt forgiveness. We gave them about $12 billion as part of the debt buyback process. Obasanjo made a national broadcast that he termed that whole process as second independence for Nigeria. Yeah. The moment you are indebted, to external, forces, international financial institutions, you lose your, part of your sovereignty. It's already a negative sovereignty, right from that point, because you always need these people when you need the resources. So for me, I think Nigeria, is more encumbered, right now, because the new president has a lot to do in terms of, managing Nigeria's diversity.
But Prof, that was part of our conversation earlier on, and I believe it's going to be part of political, discourse for some time to come, the legacies of Muhammadu Buhari. And one of the significant things that we were talking about was that, okay, well, if we're looking at the economic indicators of his administration that may be negative, we must also balance the conversation with the performance of the outgone administration in terms of infrastructure development. Could there have been a balance? Perhaps I should bring this now to Professor Otubanjo. Could there have been a balance, or does one outweigh the other when we look at the performance of the administration where infrastructure is concerned?
No, you don't balance things. It's not a mix. They are all parallel lines. Infrastructure is the responsibility of government to do many things. You don't say because I'm doing infrastructure, therefore I will not do security. That's not the way. That's why you have different ministries in the first place, who are responsible for different functions. And so, I don't know, I know this big deal about infrastructure. Where are they? I mean, you have the bridge, Nigeria.
The second Niger bridge is there.
Oh boy.
The rail development is there.
Rail development to where? You have 200 kilometers of rail to Ibadan. That's all you have to Kaduna. Nigeria has 10,000 square meter need for railways.
The worry halfway as well.
Yes, there as well.
Yes, you will see, you pick up nitpicking of little development. These are just incrementalism. This is incremental. Somebody comes and builds another kilometer of road. We need fundamental developmental programs. If you are going to have railways, let's have railways to go across the country. One area that is parallel, which Buhari will be credited for, and that's what you are looking at. Yeah, it's democracy. Under the Buhari, there was not a single political prisoner. He allowed democracy to thrive. Everybody, free speech, there was free speech, free association, and so on. So,
but Prof, that could be debatable as well. Well, you recall the Twitter ban and individuals
you saw what
who were arrested and clamped down on, for some form of name calling on social media. So, would you describe that as freedom?
Did they really do it?
Well, it's a matter of perception. Some would say Showere's detention, for example. It's a case Showere, Omoyele Showere, he had that back and forth a lot. Some even look at Dasuki's, there you go, there's the cultural troop is on. So we don't do a lot of hard talk. Let's enjoy some of the scenes from them. But we'll come back to those issues, but not to worry. Let's enjoy the cultural troop display now at Eagle Square.